Hello everyone, this is Andrew, and today I'm going to talk about Ferrari at the Russian Grand Prix. What a shambles they were. I mean, that's all I can really say, but we'll get into that in a little bit more. I'd just like to apologise for this video being absolutely shit, and I'm also going to try and do it in one take, so it's going to be even worse. This is kind of more of a practice video, because I feel like I'm also very opinionated about Formula 1. I'd just like to have a chat about it with people, and see what people think about what I think. So, let's get into it. Saturday, obviously, for Ferrari, looked absolutely incredible. Everyone looked, well, both drivers looked like they were on the pace. Charles looked like he had absolutely the race in the bag. He was quickest in every single session. He obviously outqualified Seb by over 0.4 of a second. I mean, against a four-time world champion, that is a very, very, very impressive qualifying. And it looked like he pretty much had the race done and dusted after Saturday. No one could... I mean, even in the long run, Charles had the better pace than Vettel. But anyway, let's get into Sunday. And obviously, everyone thinking pretty much it's going to be hard for the Mercedes to beat the Ferraris. And we all thought that after about 5 laps. Now, where it started to fall down with Ferrari, and I think straight away, is... what on earth was this strategy they were doing? I mean, fair enough, get the slipstream, get Vettel in front or behind Charles, and, you know, that's probably what they thought. They probably didn't know that Vettel was going to be able to overtake Charles, but they, you know, there was definitely a big chance it was going to happen. But the thing that Charles... he didn't have a good start. He had an absolutely terrible start off the line. And Vettel was always going to overtake him. If there was no arrangement there, then Vettel would have just been leading the race. It would have been Ferrari 1-2, and then none of this absolute crap that came about afterwards would have happened. So, I think it was about lap 3, I think it was something ridiculous like that into the race, lap 3, 4, something like that, when Charles got on the radio and started saying, you know, started basically complaining. Now, I am a massive Charles Leclerc fan, I really am. I think he's doing some incredible things. But I think this is just another mistake he's going to have to learn from, because getting on the radio, especially when you're a Ferrari driver, and although the words he said weren't bad, the tone, everyone with a brain cell knew what he was getting at. Oh yes, he might not have been angry, he might not have been shouting about it and everything like that, but everyone, the whole world watching Formula 1 knew exactly what was going on. And I just feel like can you imagine Max Verstappen saying something like that to his engineer? He would just get shot down straight away, like he does every time. Last time out, whatever the race was. Anyway, sorry, this is one take, so you're going to have to deal with that. But last time out, Max Verstappen asked for more power, and his engineer just goes, negative. Negative. And I mean, I feel like if that had happened at Mercedes or Red Bull, it would have been a completely different scenario. Charles Leclerc would have been told to shut up and get on with your race, and we'll switch it round in the next one. Later on in the race. I think where they fell down is the fact that I don't know what the plan was, whether they, actually planned to get the overtake or swap them back round if Vettel got past at the start. But I mean, if they did choose that, then that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. If Vettel had let past Leclerc when Leclerc started moaning about it, Lewis Hamilton would have been in Vettel's slipstream straight away, and then you never know what's going to happen. Then, especially in a track like Russia with a straight like that, and after there only being like 3 or 4 laps, so people don't know whether you can pass on that straight really, or not. But they decided to say to the drivers to switch round on lap 3. Oh, he's going to let you pass. He's going to let you pass. That made it even worse. Them saying to Leclerc, oh, we're going to let you pass in a lap, and then saying to Vettel, oh, you need to get past in a lap. But the fact is, and I don't know whether this was because of Charles's temperament after the whole losing the lead to Vettel and thinking he was going to get given it straight back, but he just lost his head. I mean, it was awful. I think that's probably why he was off the pace because he was just constantly thinking about it in his mind. And I do a bit of, crappy online racing and everything like that, but even in those kind of races, as soon as you lose a little bit of concentration, you go to absolute crap. And I think that's exactly what happened to Charles Leclerc. What he should have done is been like, this is a 53 lap or whatever it was, a long race, and basically let's see what happens. Let's pull away from the Mercedes, see what happens, and see whether we can build that gap, and then we can worry about swapping the cars later round in the race when we're, say, 10 seconds in front. But he didn't do that, and so I think, but I will say I think it's something he will learn from. I think it's something that he will, just become a better driver from. Just like the crash in Baku, the crash in Hockenheim, and a couple of other incidents he's had. I think he'll learn from them because he has learned from every single one so far. So that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, overall, Ferrari just absolutely threw that race away for themselves. The fact that Vettel's car broke, and lost them the race was just hilarious almost. As just a fan of the sport. The fact that one Ferrari broke and then lost the Ferrari the lead. And led to a Mercedes 1-2, just makes it even worse. But yeah, I think overall an awful performance from Ferrari. The way they dealt with their drivers was just horrendous. They should. I do not think there will be much team radio coming from now on, or I think there will be serious consequences. I mean, it is Ferrari at the end of the day, and if there's not someone that's working at Ferrari that has the power to tell a 21-year-old who's in his second season in Formula 1, as good as he is, if there's no one in Ferrari that can get on that radio and tell him to pretty much shut up and get on with it for a bit, then yeah, Ferrari are in deep trouble. But anyway, I kind of enjoyed the race. I thought the race was good. I thought Mercedes, obviously, in hindsight, their strategy was brilliant. No one really thought the Ferrari was going to break down. I don't think they've really broken down this season, have they? Probably, maybe once, but I don't remember it. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens next week. I think obviously Honda are going to turn everything up. They're going to have full VTEC beans next weekend, and I think it's also going to be a track that Red Bull suits. Obviously, it's a handling track next week, and a lot of people kind of compare handling tracks to each other. And the reason I'm saying that is because Singapore, people say, oh, that's a handling track, and obviously Suzuka is a handling track in a way as well. But they're very, very different tracks. Singapore is very much a point and squirt track, lots of 90-degree corners. You brake, you just try and brake, turn the car slowly, and just get on the acceleration as soon as you can. Whereas Suzuka is the kind of track where you really need to flow around the corners. There's a lot less braking in it, and yeah, it's just an incredibly different track that I think will suit the Red Bull. It's going to be interesting to see how the Ferrari do here, because obviously no one thought the Ferrari was going to be good around any handling track, and it's now, since their update, has proved to be really good. But anyway, I'm excited for Japan. I think it's going to be good. I'm going to predict Max Verstappen pole. I think that's going to happen. Incredibly interested to see where the Mercedes and the Ferrari line up against each other. I think it will actually be really quite close against them, because although a handling track, the last I'd say third after you come out with the hairpin at Suzuka, that is power. That is. So it'll be interesting to see whether Ferrari have enough power to gain enough back on the Mercs and the Red Bulls in that sector. There'll be a good race. Unfortunately, it's on at, I think, 6 in the morning UK, so I'm probably going to be watching the repeat, but I'm tempted to get up. I'm always tempted to get up, but then I kind of never do. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Obviously, like I said, first draft here. Terrible video, and obviously it's been one cut on an iPad that looks... this looks worse than the Samsung from 2000s, but never mind. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll make some more videos. Cheers!